Hello everybody, welcome to the Derek Ruby Show. I am your host, the previously mentioned Mr. Ruby. It's Sunday night, I just got back from the movies, so this is my spoiler-free review of Alien Covenant. So Alien Covenant is a long-awaited sequel to Prometheus and a prequel to Alien that not just me, but a lot of people have been waiting for. This movie has a lot of callbacks to the other movies. Sometimes you could tell they're trying to get that horror vibe from the first movie. Sometimes they're trying to get that action vibe from the sequels. And sometimes the movie is successful in that. There are definitely parts where you feel the tension. But the movie is called Alien Covenant. When you think of a covenant, you think of more than one thing. You think of multiple things. If this movie suffers from anything, it's the lack of aliens it has in it. The most interesting part about the movie is the banter between David and Walter, the androids. The movie would have a better title if it was called David and Friends. Speaking of characters, this movie has a lack of character development. It's hard to remember anybody's name, except for Tennessee. But when a movie uses names like Tennessee, Tex, Hollywood, those are always easy to remember. But even the main protagonist, I honestly can't remember her name, so I'll just call her Not Ripley. And even she gets a little bit of backstory, but they really tried hard to do a callback to the way Ripley was, and it just comes off as a watered-down version of a badass. Can anybody who sees this movie actually look at Not Ripley and say, oh yeah, she's a badass? I seriously doubt it. Not to mention the fact that some of the characters act so stupid, you know it's their own fault that they're gonna die. And how can you feel sorry for somebody like that? And at various points, I felt like I was watching Prometheus again. I don't know why they always have to do the callbacks where they say the same lines like, there's no wildlife here. I don't hear any birds. Or, wow, there's wheat growing on this planet. How did that get here? And I just don't understand what the obsession with wheat is. Can it be tomatoes or potatoes or fuck it, marijuana or something else? It is a horror sci-fi movie after all. Be a little inventive once in a while. And the other cliche things I don't like is when one person says, hey, don't do this, and the other person says, I know what I'm doing. And then bad shit happens. And the next thing you know, we get the same old scene of somebody going, I'm sorry, you were right. Well, no shit, motherfucker. But by far, one of the biggest problems is the lack of aliens. I mean, yeah, you see them here and there. There's a few scenes where I saw a couple people jump, but it just doesn't happen as often enough. And the movie's supposed to have this twist to it, but the twist you see coming a mile away, so it's not really that much of a twist. Now don't get me wrong, it's not all bad. The landscape looks nice, the graphics are good, the spaceship still got that kind of grit look even if it's a little more polished. If you're really into action, it kind of satisfies you in that way. There's definitely a little bit of story build here from the previous movies, but my biggest problem with the entire movie is it's anticlimactic. Usually in an alien movie you see a big standoff with an alien or something, and I'm not going to spoil anything and I'm not going to give away what happens, but it's not very climactic compared to what you would think. And then when the movie ends, you're just like, that's it? So unless you're a real hardcore Alien fan, you might want to wait to get this on Blu-ray or DVD. But if you got nothing to do, it's still pretty decent. The problem is the movie's good, but it should be great, and it just falls short. I'm not saying it's a waste of money, but don't expect too much out of it. I mean, you never know. When they make the next movie, when we look back at this in a retrospective, and the parts of lore it added to the Alien franchise itself, we might all look at the movie differently. But as a standalone, it's just a good movie, not a great one. So I'm going to give Alien Covenant 3 stars. And before I go, in one of the comments on my videos, a YouTube user by the name of Gamer Hero asked me to give him a shout out. And I said, sure, why not? So what's up, Gamer Hero? So you can check out his channel on YouTube. So thank you guys for listening to the Derek Ruby Show. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. And as always, have a good one. And I'll see you guys next time. And I just don't understand what the obsession with wheat is. Can it be tomatoes or potatoes or fuck it, marijuana or something else?